Hey guys, I'm gonna wait a bit for some people to get in and then we'll get started. But if you have any questions already, just leave them in the comment section and I will be reading them on my laptop. Also, let me know if it freezes up too much because I might not be in the best place for the connection. But if it starts freezing up too much, I will just move myself so that you guys can hear me properly. Hey Destiny! When it gets to 4:02, I'm just gonna get started. Let me share it. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna get started now and we'll just see if people start trickling in. But hi guys, I'm Hannah. If you know me from YouTube, you know that I started doing uni vlogs when I started uni last year. I'm gonna be going into my second year in like 2 weeks. I'm going to be starting my lectures again, and my course is psychology and I do the Bachelor of Science version because there's a Bachelor of Science version and there's a Bachelor of Arts version. Hi! So, my version, the Bachelor of Science version, is meant to be more filled with statistics, and the Bachelor of Arts one, I think my psychology A-level teacher told me that it doesn't have as much maths in it, but I would say that it was still fine. As someone that didn't do maths A-level, the last time I did maths like as a subject was for GCSEs and I got a B, and I find the statistics part like pretty decent. Like, it's not too difficult. I went to the lectures and the seminars, and if you go to them and you take it in and ask questions when you need to, then it will be pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. Let me see if we've got any questions. No. So, I had 6 modules, and altogether I'm pretty sure the credits added up to either 120 credits or 180 credits. We had terms last year, but this year we have semesters, so we were doing all 6 modules basically throughout the whole year. So I'm not sure how it will be set up in your university, but the science one harder? Apparently it's meant to be harder because it has more maths and statistics in it, but like, I've never done the Bachelor of Arts one, so I wouldn't know, but I feel like they're probably about the same thing anyways, and you might as well go for the Bachelor of Science if you have the option to at the university that you're trying to apply to. But I had 6 modules, and I would say that most of them were all right because I just love psychology in the first place, and I think if you love your subject, you're going to do well at it regardless, to be honest with you, because you're going to want to put in that extra effort. So I definitely did that, and I got a 2-1 at the end of my first year, which I'm happy with. And next year hopefully I'll get a first, or even if I do get a 2-1 again, I'll be happy with that because it's a degree, like, it's serious stuff. I wanted to talk about hold on. I wanted to talk about how to make sure you're doing the best at your work. So I'm pretty sure all universities you will get feedback on your work, and one thing that they stressed to us at the beginning of the year was to read our feedback and work on it and ask questions if you have any. You'll be given a tutor, and you'll also have like a personal tutor, and then you'll have teachers like seminar leaders and workshop leaders, etc., and you'll have a lecturer, and all of those people, you can talk to them about your feedback. So don't feel like, once you get your feedback, you're paying £9,000, make sure you're getting your best out of it. Once you've got your feedback, if you don't understand anything or you want to really be taught how to do better, go to them and they'll help you out with that so that you can improve, because you're not really going to improve if you're just like doing the same thing over and over again. That's why the feedback is there in the first place. So how were your assignment structures? Did you have many essays? Assignments, we had portfolios, we had essays, we had reports. For the first year, we had a lot of reports. I'd say that we mostly had reports. I think I only did 2 essays. One was like an actual essay, and then one was like a review of articles, and journal articles, you'll find out what they are once you study psychology, or I'm not sure if there's any other courses that use journal articles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are. But so we only had 2 essays. We probably had like 3, 4, maybe even 5, I want to say, reports. I feel like I was personally better at reports, but my grades were better for essays. So I don't know how that worked out. But again, in psychology, you will most definitely be taught how to do reports in the style that they want you to, and do essays in the way that they want you to. And also, you can go on Amazon and you can purchase books which tell you how to structure out your essays and reports. And I've got the one that I use for my first year, and it's by Stella Cottrell, and it's called the Study Skills Handbook. And this one was really good. You can like screenshot this if you want. This one was really good, and it was, I can't see the price on it, but it wasn't expensive. It was like decent, and it gives you study skills for studying psychology in general. And that's not just like how to write essays and how to do this and how to do that. It tells you how to relax. It tells you how to take a break and make sure that you're still coping with it. So that one was like a really good book, and it has like diagrams in it and bits that you can fill out as well. So I'd really recommend getting that one. But when you start your course, they might even recommend a kind of key skills book that tells you how to do everything. It told me how to do referencing and all of that as well. So books like that are really helpful. Like, just try to get all your resources. Also, Google is your best friend at university. Like, I have a tab on my Google Chrome that's just called PSY for psychology, and anything that I searched up, like how to do a report, how to reference, what else have I put here? Like articles that I wanted to use in essays and stuff for like future reference. You just bookmark it and save it there, and like you can just always come back to it. So just make sure you're using all of your resources so that you're getting the best out of your degree. Let me see if there's any questions. If you guys have questions, just comment them and then I'll keep checking down below. What I also wanted to talk about was the workload, managing the workload. I feel like this year for me especially will be better because we're going to have semesters. Last year we had terms, and as I said, we did everything at once basically, and we just had like deadlines spotted around. This year we have 3 modules to do up until Christmas, and then after that we have 3 more modules to do until the end of the year. With managing workload, I'd really recommend making a timetable, like a study timetable. It doesn't have to be like down to the T of every single thing that you need to be doing at every minute, but at least have something that's like a rough guide so that you can have something to follow on. Because there were loads of times when I was just like, in my room or like out and about, and I was like, what could I be doing right now? And if you have a timetable, it will kind of guide you and help you realize that there's stuff that you could be doing, and it'll help you to just use your time more effectively. So that's something that they made us do. I think in like the first month they gave us like a handout which we could fill in for a study timetable. First we put in our commitments, so things that we just had to do, and stuff like eating and sleeping, put that in as well, so you're not like overworking yourself. And then you put in your lectures and stuff that you have to do with uni. And then we slotted in time to revise and work on our assignments and stuff. And what my uni recommended was 3 hours per, I think it was either 3 hours per session or 3 hours per hour you were in uni. And that's a lot. I don't even know if anyone did that. That's like a lot, because we had, I'm not sure, we had 3 days in uni, and that wasn't like the full day. It was just like 2 hour sessions, maybe like two 2 hour sessions a day. So there was like, that was how it was set up. And so imagine like timesing that by 3, that's like just a lot. But just make sure you're giving yourself enough time per module, because some modules are harder than others, so you'll need to have more time to revise for those and to do assignments for those ones. But some are just like a breeze, and you might not even need any time at all at home to work on that. So once you've like got into it, and you've like got into like maybe the 2nd or 3rd week, you'll know which modules you need to spend more time on, because some of them were, there was one module which was called Classic Studies, and it was just like really hard for me to get grips with. I don't even know why. I think it was just, I don't know, it wasn't even like sciencey. It was just like looking at old studies and applying it to now and evaluating it and stuff like that. But I found that to be the hardest one, so I made sure I think I did spend like the 3 hours per hour for that subject. For the others, I spent like maybe an hour to 2 hours per subject. So yeah, you'll just have to get to that point in your university year, hopefully like early in the year, when you realize which modules and which parts you need to spend more time on. What else can I talk about with psychology? I'd say that psychology is a good course if, like, I think most people that I spoke to who were studying psychology with me wanted to do something to do with psychology in the end. I think some people see it as a course where you can just take it no matter what, and you'll kind of just like branch out in the end. But I think it's better if you really just enjoy the course in the beginning. There's so many ways you can branch out with psychology. You can go into like working with children, or working with adults, or working with older people. You can work in offices, like in HR. There's just so many routes that you can take with it. So I think that's what I really liked about psychology, because at first I was kind of like, what am I going to do with it at the end? Because I really love the subject, but what do I actually want to do with it at the end? And I figured out that I like working with kids, so I'd either be an educational psychologist, so working in schools, or I'd probably take it to something out of schools, so working with people with mental health issues and just stuff like that, basically. But you have got a long time to figure that out, and the first year I feel like you don't have to stress yourself too much about figuring out what exactly you want to do with your degree. It's kind of just settling into it and getting down to the basics, and yeah, so I wouldn't worry too much about knowing exactly what you want to do with it, but I feel like you should actually have some interest in it in the first place. It'll just make it easier, to be honest with you. How interesting is psychology? Like, personally, I love psychology. It's really interesting to me because you're just learning about yourself, basically, and those around you. And I like I just really like learning about other people. I like learning why people do what they do and why things are the way they are. It just helps me understand the world around me more. Like, I wouldn't say psychology is boring. Like, it's just really interesting, and there's like the really creepy side to it with like forensic psychology and looking at psychopaths and sociopaths. Like, I find that really interesting, and looking at how people can do stuff that they never think they would do in normal conditions. So like, I don't know if any of you have heard about the prison study, let me say the right name, Zimbardo's prison study, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think Zimbardo was the prison, and then Milgram was with the electric shocks. So I just like learning about stuff like that. And a lot of like my favorite genre of movies is psychological thrillers. So I'm just really interested in psychology like since the get-go. So I would say that psychology is really interesting. But there's loads of movies that you could watch to kind of like get you interested in it. There's wait, what's that film called? Hold on. I think it's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You could watch that. Hold on. Yeah, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And on Netflix, they have so many psychological thrillers. Like, you need to watch them, and they're just really good. But you should watch the actual movie that was around Zimbardo's prison study. That was good as well. Like, it's just interesting to see how people react in different situations. And yeah, it's just nice to know why everyone's mind works the way that they do. So psychology is really interesting. Have I seen Shutter Island? No, but that name sounds really familiar. I don't think I have seen it, but it sounds familiar. I think it's probably one of those movies that everyone's like, oh, you need to go watch it. Let me see. No, I haven't watched Shutter Island. But like, if you know me, oh my gosh, that's the one I'm thinking of as well, Split. If you have watched Split and you were just like, wow, you need to study, okay, let me not say you need to study psychology, but you'll get how like interesting it is. It's just crazy. Like, psychology is just so good, and I love it. It's just my life, really. And I think that the fact that I actually love it and I'm actually interested in it makes it so much easier. Like, make sure you're studying something that you actually like and you're interested in. Yeah, I think that's the main important thing. I also wanted to say that some people didn't study psychology A-level before they actually went to do the uni course. And that's completely fine, because literally the first year felt like I was repeating my A-level. It wasn't exactly the same, obviously, because it is at university, but it's very similar. And I feel like if you did study at A-level, you'll have a bit of an advantage. But if you didn't, you'll do just fine as well. Like, I had friends that didn't study at A-level, and they were doing fine as well. So you don't have to have done it at GCSE or A-level. I think that's another really good thing about the psychology course, is that you can start it basically with no knowledge of psychology, just the interest, I guess. Hold on. I think I might start talking about university in general now, because there doesn't seem to be many questions on the actual topic of psychology. But if you do have any and you come in or you're in now and you have any questions about psychology, feel free to ask them. Is psychology more essay-based or mathematical? I think it's a bit of both, because the mathematical side, like the statistics, backs up the essays and stuff. So you have quantitative data, and that backs up what you're saying in your essays and your reports. So it's like literally a mix of both. You're gonna have both in your work. And when you're like doing essays, you're going to be looking at people who have done like the mathematical side of it. But in essays, you're not really doing like anything really mathematical, because you're just looking at, kind of just like evaluating other people's work. Like you'll need to understand what they've said in the mathematical side of their reports and stuff and their studies, but you don't really need to do anything. But in reports, you need to actually like gather data and analyze it and discuss it and all of that. So it's a mix of both, I'd say, at least with my course as well, because I do the Bachelor of Science type of degree. But on to university in general. I know that a lot of people always worry about managing their money at university, and that's something I didn't find hard, because I knew I had like a set way of managing my money at university. I calculated how much I had per term and per month, and then I split that for each week. And then at the beginning of each week, I would go to the bank and collect the certain amount that I had. And then throughout the week as well, I'd make a note of the things that I bought, and so what I was spending and what I was gaining as well. But I wasn't really gaining anything because I didn't have a job in my first year. I was just relying on student finance. So I think as long as you keep track of how much you're spending, you're not going to go too overboard. So I think it's really important to keep track of your spending, and you should be fine with money. And also, if you feel like you don't have enough money, either get a part-time job or look into getting a bursary or any other type of like extra money from your university. Would you recommend getting involved in societies? Yes, definitely. Up until January, I wasn't in any type of society or anything. I was just like living the uni life and I was going out and I was doing my studies. But having a society is like a little extra thing that you can do in between. Last year I was in film society, which was good for me and I like that. And this year I want to join more societies and more sports clubs, because it's just nice to get really stuck in and involved in your university life. Because like sometimes I deep it like uni's like my last kind of community thing that I'm going to be doing. So there's so many opportunities that you have at uni and so many clubs you can join and sports teams, so you might as well just go all in, to be honest with you, and do what you can. Obviously allot time for your studies, because you don't want to like fail uni because you was going too hard on the social side. But definitely try and join societies. It helps to have friends from different areas, so have friends from like your accommodation, friends from your studies, and then friends from like societies. So you just have people all around that you can talk to, and it's just nice to make connections as well. For my first year, I lived in uni accommodation, but it wasn't like halls, it was a house, and there was 4 of us, and we had a shared bathroom. So the only reason why I'd ever say anyone should consider getting a shared bathroom and not an ensuite is for like money reasons. I think like this year I've got an ensuite now. I'm going back into uni accommodation, but I've got an ensuite, and I feel happy about that. Like I've experienced the shared bathroom life. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but it was decent for me at least. Like it wasn't absolutely horrible, but it wasn't the best. And I think it would just be nice to have. It's just nice to have your own space and your own area where you can get ready, and you can do your own thing, and you know that this is your bathroom for you and only you and the people that come to visit you. So if you've already got your accommodation and it's shared bathrooms, then just stick with it if you can. If it gets really bad, then I guess just try and move accommodations. But if you have ensuite, then you're doing good. It will probably be great. What was your biggest regret in first year? Do I even have any regrets? I don't think I have any regrets, but I guess I could have done things differently. So what I would have maybe done differently is maybe just join more societies, to be honest with you, because I feel like I did pretty well for my first year. I feel like I got the whole experience, but I could have joined more societies, and I could have worked out more, like been more involved with sports, because I got more involved with like sports and working out towards the end of the year. And I saw that I put on a lot of weight near like in like the first term, so up until Christmas. When I came back home for Christmas, everyone was like, whoa, you've gained a bit of weight. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice. But I definitely would have, if I could have started my first year again, I would have got more involved in sports or physical activity so that I could have stayed on top of my fitness game. But I wouldn't say I have any regrets. Like I think I did pretty all right with my first year. Hold on. What else could I talk about? Do you guys have any questions? Literally about anything. Uni, psychology. I'm ready to answer your questions. I need some water. I'm trying to think of what else I could talk about to do with uni. Oh, it's getting dark. I can't really think of much to say, to be honest with you, except get involved. Make sure you're staying on top of your work. Make sure you're staying on top of your money. Try not to stress out too much. Oh, okay, maybe there's one thing I do regret or would have done differently. I would have got out of my room more and also been more like, I guess, like closer with my housemates, because me and my housemates, we were kind of just like, we weren't we weren't not friendly to each other. Like we were friendly to each other, but we weren't like friends. It was just kind of like cordial, like, hi, how are you? If we met up in the kitchen, then we had conversations there, but it wasn't like, oh, let's go do this, let's go get out of the house and anything like that. Like in the first week, I'd say it was like, oh, let's get out of the house, let's go out together. But then after that, I think everyone just kind of got into doing their own thing. Like this year, I want to be more like involved and friendly. Not friendly, but friend. Like I want to be actual friends with my housemates. I think it would just be nice to be like really comfortable with your housemates, and it just helps knowing that you can just like go into your friend's room and hang out with them instead of like staying in your room thinking, oh, are they gonna mind if I knock on their door? Will they want to talk? Like just having less hostility, basically. Hello from Russia. Hi. Also, on the first day that you move in, everyone always says it, but leave your door open. I did that on my first day as well when I moved in, and it was good for me because I lived on the bottom floor, so everyone had to like walk past my room anyways. So it's just nice. It's a nice way to basically say you're open to talking and you're open to just like being friends and being friendly. And yeah, so definitely leave your door open and be like open and welcoming to your housemates and to people around you, so that you can make those connections, make those friends, and it will just make your uni year breeze by when you have people doing it with you. If there aren't any more questions, then I might go ahead and end this in a bit. I'll just talk for a little bit longer in case anyone has any questions, and then I will be finishing my first live stream. But hopefully there'll be more of these like during the actual university year. That would be nice, like, so I could show you my accommodation and show you how university life is like firsthand, basically, because this is live. Because last year I did uni vlogs and I vlogged like my uni life, so that was like obviously edited and it wasn't like as it was happening, but it would be nice to actually like live stream certain parts of uni. But if you did want to watch my uni vlogs, you can go to my YouTube channel, and it's Hannadasein, the same as my username here. I can even like type it out, hold on. I'll link you guys to my university playlist so that you can see all the like uni based videos. I even have year 12, I think it's year 13 or year 12 advice video, and it gives you some tips to do with UCAS as well if you haven't like applied to uni this year, if you're not going this year, if you're going in the upcoming years. But let me just get that playlist for you. And I will be doing more university based videos this year as well, so definitely subscribe if you're interested in stuff like that, and I'll see you over my YouTube channel. Still trying to find this playlist. Okay, university.